Welcome to Mobile DI. In the previous video, we focused specifically on the development team that you will have for developing your project. Now we're going to go more into details of the actual architecture of developing an app. So we hope you watch and enjoy.
Architecture primarily deals with three concerns. The first one is about best practices, the second is design patterns, and the third would be documentation and SOPs, which stands for standard operating procedures. When we talk about blueprint, it is sort of like the fundamental, proven, established standards in the software industry. Think about it like if you're going to a construction zone, hard hat is required. You can't just enter a construction zone without that. So there are certain established norms that are proven and are safe and are good to implement in every software project. So that's what best practices deals with. An architect would be able to lay it out for the team. The second one is about design patterns. Now, design patterns, if you think about a football team, depending on where they are in the game, what the score is, the duration that's remaining, they need to have the right play call to tackle either an offense or a defense. Similarly, a design pattern is, given the problem at hand, you need to deploy the right design pattern to solve that problem. And that's what an architect can help you do. The last one is about documentation and standard operating procedures. This would be more like having a blueprint and then architecture blueprint, and the builder goes in to build per the architecture specification. So if the builder fails or is not making the right progress, you can hire a different builder. Or, if the builder has employees and they, some of them go on vacation, you still have the team building, designing, developing, and deploying software the right way. So let's talk about what a sample application architecture may look like. And this is just a very simplistic, we call this a CRUD app. CRUD stands for create, read, update, delete of records and rows within a database. So typical apps they follow this mechanism, whether mobile or web. So what we have here as a diagram is an architecture for a CRUD app. So typically, we talk about front end or the UI. The UI will be like a framework that may use something like Angular or React, and the UI layer can be supporting any device such as web. It may run on a Chrome browser, or it may also be a mobile app. So you need two developers that would build a web interface and a mobile interface. Sometimes one developer can build both, depending on their expertise. And then you have the API layer, which stands for Application Programming Interface. So what that does is it connects your database with the front end. So the API layer is also responsible for integration points or connecting to other software that you may want to integrate with. So think about it like the API layer connecting with a CRM such as Salesforce, or a payment gateway. You may want to take a payment in your app. So you may want to process a credit card or a bank account. So those would be taken care of by the API layer. And then finally you have the database where you have all your records stored. So in that database layer is where you would define your data model, which basically shows how the data is stored. You have tables, columns, think about it like an Excel sheet with rows and columns, and then it's not as simple as that, but it's also being able to tie some relationships between different tables and establishing some data integrity standards, between those tables.
Now in our next video, we are going to focus on process. So I hope you enjoyed watching, and we will link the next video in the description below. Thank you for watching. Okay. Wait, let's do another high five because we need more.